I welcome this privilege to give to me the first the rest of my life. I thank you for the gift of being alive this morning. I thank you for this gift of refreshing tonight. I thank you for the chance to be alive all over again. Lord, we thank you for the promise and the opportunity. Help me to waste none of it. Place me in the mystery and the unknown. Help me to face it without fear and anxiety. Stay in the community and adventure. Help me to think you are alive to the call. Bring me safe and happy to the Lord. Lord, pray of the dangers and factors. Help me not to be afraid of next. But what you have to give it up to us. When I come to stay, when I come to stay, you know, and they know what you're doing because of anything I've done or anything I have prayed. Lord says to stay.
I believe in God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son of our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell. On the third day he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven, and is seated at the and lead all souls to heaven, especially those most need of thy mercy. The second joyful mystery is the visitation. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst
Oo nga, hinintay tayo hanggang alas hour yung
mga 7:20.
grabe naman yung driver nila.
Ganun, parang anong dryer na yun. Shower pati. Sa ating yung dryer, akala ko vacuum.
Akala, tanggalin mo yung
Hindi. Yung dulo lang. Parang vacuum, di ba?
They're hanging on the balconies, but most of them are empty. They are open only during the summer season for people that come to meet their relatives. Because concerning job opportunities, here we have above all tourists or the hospital of Padre Pio that you'll see this afternoon. Public office, a bit farming, but not a lot, because as you've seen, this is a very rocky area. Not really easy to do. And so a lot of people had to move away and to work in other places. But during the summer, here everything is open and people come to To the upper part where now the parking is. So hospital, staircase,
Meron ng nursing home.
very close to this kind of iconography. And they built a street starting from Benevento, where the seat was, and reaching Monte Sant'Angelo. It was, of course, a very important thing they did because, of course, try again to imagine this place at that time. And thanks to this street they built, first pilgrims had the opportunity to come, and more people started.
Dito sa araw.
May sasakyan.
Ayong orange. Sabi nila, hindi sa St. Michael. Bilis ako na kanina, pero dapat sabi ko.
Everything started in 409. Trying to this place. In a mysterious way, the apple came back to his hands. And then, well, he told about it to the Archbishop of that time, St. Lawrence. He did not really in the night, the apparition, first apparition of St. Michael, who said to the Archbishop, the place where the man has found the queen is the place I have chosen for the Christian house. Go there and transform it into a church. That's St. Lawrence against the back. But I did not understand what was happening. After 2 years, 419, because of the period where a lot of wars, the Roman empires, a lot of people, of course, were dying. And St. Michael appeared again to the Archbishop and said, don't worry, I'm protecting you. And so several storm enemies had to flee away. And the Archbishop said, well, we need to say thank you to St. Michael 2 times. And he organized a pilgrimage to the grotto where they found the moon. And you see over here, you see bishops walking, the valley is here, starting to pilgrimage, coming to Monte Sant'Angelo. When they arrived, and said, no, he blessed this place. Was blessed by myself. As a sign of my existence, you find an altar with a print of my footsteps. They entered inside and found St. Michael. And so this church was never blessed by a Basilica church. And it also, in this case, it's the have old rules and old rites of the Christian Church, but nevertheless, taking relics, for example, to ask God of the bride to give a blessing. After this purification, they built that little chapel inside. But of course, it was not easy to reach this place, and not a lot of people, because it was not really easy to make advertisement on the internet, nothing of this. And so, for some centuries, no one came until the street was built where I was introduced. The Via Sacra, that's the name of the street.
Nakatira dito ba? Matanda na sila. Up and down, up and down.
Wala namang wheelchair accessible.
Oo nga.
Nasce con San Michele.
We have seen next to the Adriatic, because this was the older part, and here were the richer people living at that time. But here we have still people living. So while the others are now all have empty, in this area we have a lot of
Buona giornata.
And here we have also the origin of the typical suite of this place. In this place, the typical suite, maybe you'll see them when you then walk back to your bus afterwards, are hosts with inside honey and almonds.
Should be good.
And the origin goes back to this monastery, because there were two sisters who were preparing hosts for the Basilica, and other two who were preparing a cake with honey.
Padre degli astri e difensore delle terre, e Dio nella sua santa cura. A chi è solo, Dio farà andare da casa, fa uscire con gioia i prigionieri. Il nostro Dio è il Dio santo. Di giorno in giorno benedetto il Signore. A noi Dio porta la salvezza. Il nostro Dio è un Dio che salva. Al Signore Dio appartengono le porte della morte. Il nostro Dio è un Dio che salva. Alleluia. La tua parola, Signore, è verità. Consacraci nella verità. Alleluia. Alleluia.
Before entering inside, a few words of what you see here around you. I'm sure you've noticed a big white building. This is Padre Pio's hospital. It was one of the first desires he had. Padre Pio arrived here in 1916 at the age of 29. It was a very poor area. And Padre Pio had a lot of trouble. Half a respiratory problem and very high fever temperatures. And so he always thought to all sick people. And one day he said, here we do not have a place where people have the opportunity to be cured. So let us start with the building of a hospital. And they said to him, Padre Pio, impossible. Try to imagine this place, where those tourists that arrived to this town, it was really not easy to reach it. And Padre Pio answered, don't worry, I know what I'm doing. This is the right place. So thanks to those who believed in this dream of Padre Pio, they started with the construction of the home for the relief of the suffering. This is the name given to the hospital of Padre Pio. And he recommended all his workers to bring the best of science and to never forget that in each sick person is Jesus. He said only in this way we can do a great job. Nowadays, this hospital is one of the most important hospitals we have in the southern part of Italy. It is becoming bigger and bigger. This is only the original building, one blessed by Padre Pio in 1956. We have now a lot of new wings. More than 2,000 people work here inside. The owner is now the Vatican, because after Padre Pio, one can be assisted to there. Next to the hospital, you see the steps going uphill. These are our stations of the cross. This was another way of Padre Pio. And he said, who more than a sick person helps Jesus to carry his cross? This is why they are one close to the other. The first stone of this way of the cross was blessed by Padre Pio himself on the 22nd of September 1968. It's a very important day because in the night Padre Pio passed away. It's the last thing he was blessed.
thank you for the gift of living this morning. I thank you for the spirit which has refreshed me. I thank you for the chance to begin life all over again. Lord, these days full of promise and opportunity, help me to raise man of it. These days full of mystery and of the unknown, help me to trace your value and response. These days full of beauty and adventure, help me to live a life of during this day, may I become more faithful person, prayer and generous and help me not to be turned on myself, but be sensitive and helpful to others. When night comes, may I look back upon this day without regret, and may no one get happy because of anything I have done or anything I have failed to do.
Yeah, 42 years. How much are they in this area?
No, di din i-ko. Tour guide.
So I grew up in the center of Rome.
Tapos ang breakfast. Ang breakfast ay welcome to one ano naman ang kinakasabi?
We will stop for pictures, don't worry. We will just take you to the safe spot where we are not walking, we are standing. We have
Okay.
Nagpapaalam ka pa kasi. Hindi, sabi ko, natatanda sa mga. Ayan. Dito lang tayo.